قروش ما في، لكن الeligible partners موجودين. هون في في العراق وفي اليمن their biggest problem is international NGOs ما عندهم access to hard to reach areas. والlocal national NGOs ما قادرين to beat the eligibility criteria. But OCHA, they have an interest in working with you to make you eligible because they want to get the funding out. They don't want to sit and hold the fund here. So we see Iraq is here. All of these, we see Yemen, Turkey, Syria, Sudan, Junub Sudan, Somalia, Pakistan. All of these are chronic emergencies. So SURF, we saw rapid response. CBPF. Now, a little bit about the criteria. في حاجة اسمها grant management system. And the website is also there. I recommend you all take note and look at the website. The contributions that have been made, the allocations, contributions by partner, by country, by sector. You can find the different, by local and national versus international NGO. All of these details are there. And it's very useful. It's the newest of the three websites that OCHA is managing. But everything now is going on this GMS, Grant Management System. It's a paperless, it's all electronic. ومعناته الproposal, reporting, everything is done online. Request for no-cost extension online. برضو application for eligibility. And لازم تكون عندكم packet كده. الCVs بتاعت المانجمنت, senior management, والboard of directors, والبروتوكولات بتاعت sexual exploitation and abuse, والsecurity policy, والHR policy, والكذا كذا, all of these things, والaudit, last 3 years audit, ولازم تعملوا لها scan وترسلوها للسيستم الإلكترونية.
What if an NGO is new? What if an NGO is new and doesn't have 3 years
ما عندك طريقة. ما عندك طريقة إلا لو تمشي with a partnership with another group. But even if you are only 1 year or less than 3 years, you start now getting yourself ready with your protocols and procedures that you have to ultimately submit. And even though أنا قاعد أحكي أنا قاعد أتكلم في requirements بتاعت OCHA في CBPF. حتى لو أنتوا ما عندكم هون CBPF موجود في العراق. بس نحن قاعدين ندرب جماعة CBPF ما في. نحن ما عندنا علاقة ما عندنا CBPF. لا 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 أبدا. So if you can adhere to these criteria, you will also be incredibly attractive for other donors as well. So don't look at this strictly as being compliant with OCHA. Think about making yourselves attractive to many, many, many different types of donor organizations by having all of these, and not just in writing, protocol operationalized. Because they will know if it's just a piece of paper to look pretty or if it's something real. So the eligibility is going to vary by country. This is why you have to go to OCHA in Iraq and say, this is who we are. We would like to find out what the time frame and what the criteria and what we need to do in order to be considered for your pooled funds. Clear? Now, I've just talked about this, accountability. When we talked about accountability today, we've spoken about accountability to the affected populations. This is accountability to the donors giving the money to the pooled fund. So the pooled fund manager, OCHA, and in some cases they get help from UNDP, that's why they do this whole partner capacity and performance capacity assessment, right? They have to get all of these documents, and then based on what you've given, they give you a score. Okay? You can have high risk, medium, or low risk. And this is what we were just talking about before, the registration, the documents being scanned using the GMS. Sometimes you might be high risk, not because of your organization. You could be asking to do work in an area controlled by Daesh, where it's a very difficult, dangerous operating environment. You are a great NGO, but where you are working is very difficult. They could give you a high risk. So don't take the rating personally. One thing that is interesting, we get rated, but not the UN. UN doesn't get a risk rating, only the NGO community. And when you have a risk rating, I don't expect you to see this, but I'll just point out, high risk, you have a limit on how much money you can ask for. Low risk, no limit. The sky is the limit. Zaman, there was caps for everyone, but now they've made these changes about 2 years ago. This increases from 250,000, you can get 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, depending on the needs. You just have to justify. But if you're low risk, you have the freedom to do that. And low risk, monitoring visits, nobody will come and see how your work is doing during the project. They will leave you to do your work. If you're high risk, you have financial spot checks, you have field visits, you have all kinds of additional. After you do your project, so even if you are high risk, you do your project. After the project, we also get another performance rating. This is risk rating, then you get a performance indicator. From 0, either 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. If you're 0, طبعا, so you probably won't get another round. If you're 3 or 2, you can go from high risk to medium risk, or maybe even from high risk to low risk.